Welcome back to the channel where we dive into powerful books that transform how we think, act, and live. Today, we're exploring a modern classic that has shaped everything from psychology to economics to decision-making in everyday life. Thinking, Fast and Slow by Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman. This is not your typical self-help book. It's a deep dive into the machinery of the human mind, revealing why we think the way we do, how we make judgments, and what leads us to both brilliance and error. At its core, Thinking, Fast and Slow is a journey through how our brains operate using two distinct modes of thinking. Kahneman describes these as two systems. System 1, Fast Thinking. This is our intuitive, automatic, and emotional mind. It's quick and effortless. What kicks in when we read facial expressions, answer simple math problems, or instinctively hit the brakes when a car swerves? System 2, Slow Thinking. This is our deliberate, logical, and analytical mind. It comes into play when we solve complex math, fill out forms, or analyze a difficult decision. It's slower, requires effort, and can often be lazy, choosing to let System 1 take over when it shouldn't. The interplay between these two systems shapes nearly everything we do, from the mundane to the momentous. Kahneman guides us through decades of research that uncovers how these systems interact, how they can be fooled, and what this means for real-world choices. Major concepts and insights. Let's look at some of the key ideas from the book that really stand out. 1. Cognitive biases and heuristics. One of the main themes in the book is the concept of heuristics, mental shortcuts we use to make decisions quickly. These shortcuts help us function in a complex world, but they can also lead us to consistent and predictable errors. For example, the availability heuristic means we tend to judge the probability of events based on how easily we can recall similar instances. If we recently saw news about a plane crash, we might overestimate how dangerous flying really is. 2. Anchoring effect. This is the tendency to rely too heavily on the first piece of information offered, the anchor, when making decisions. Kahneman explains how even arbitrary numbers can influence our thinking. If someone sees a high number before being asked to estimate something, their answer will likely be higher, even if the number shown was random. 3. Loss aversion. One of the most fascinating ideas from Kahneman's work is that we feel losses more intensely than we feel gains. Losing 100 feels worse than gaining 100 feels good. This has huge implications for decision-making, investing, marketing, and more. 4. The planning fallacy. Kahneman introduces the idea that people and organizations consistently underestimate how long tasks will take and how much they will cost. This is not just a mistake. It's a pattern, one that affects businesses, governments, and our personal lives. 5. Overconfidence. The book also explores how confident we can be in our judgments, even when they're wrong. System 1 often jumps to conclusions, and System 2 doesn't always step in to check the facts. Kahneman warns that confidence is not a reliable indicator of accuracy, especially in complex or uncertain environments. 6. Two selves, the experiencing self versus the remembering self. In the final section, Kahneman explores a powerful distinction. The experiencing self lives in the moment, while the remembering self tells the story afterward. When we evaluate happiness or make decisions about the future, it's often the remembering self that takes over, meaning we prioritize memorable moments over long-term well-being. Why this book is so impactful. What sets Thinking, Fast and Slow apart is how thoroughly it transforms your understanding of your own mind. You begin to see how much of your behavior is automatic, and how that can be both a superpower and a limitation. It's not just about theory. Kahneman gives examples from real-life decisions, from how doctors diagnose patients, to how investors make stock picks, and from courtroom judgments to political choices. The book bridges psychology, economics, and everyday life in a way that's both fascinating and practical. Who should read this book? If you're someone who wants to make better decisions in life and business, works in psychology, economics, management, or marketing, is curious about how your brain really works, wants to reduce bias in your thinking and develop more awareness, this book is for you. It's especially valuable for leaders, investors, analysts, strategists, or anyone whose job involves judgment and prediction. A word on style and structure. Kahneman structures the book into 5 sections. 1. 2 systems. Introduces System 1 and System 2. 2. Heuristics and biases. Breaks down common errors in intuitive thinking. 3. Overconfidence. Explores how we often trust our judgments too much. 4. Choices. Discusses decision theory, loss aversion, and utility. 5. 2. Selves. Differentiates the experiencing and remembering selves. Each section is filled with research-backed examples, experiments, and real-life illustrations. Kahneman has a calm, thoughtful voice and a gift for making complex ideas accessible. You're not just learning facts, you're being guided through a new way of thinking. Final thoughts. Thinking, Fast and Slow is more than just a book. It's a new lens through which to view the world. It encourages you to pause, question your assumptions, and understand how your mind really works. You don't walk away feeling like you've memorized tips. You walk away knowing you've rewired how you approach problems, decisions, and even your own identity. It's the kind of book you'll want to revisit, annotate, and recommend to others. And the best part, every time you reread it, you'll uncover something new. My verdict? A must-read for anyone serious about personal growth, leadership, or understanding the human condition.